If you choose to do the things that put you in that position, it removes all fear and all anxiety and all doubt and like the imposter syndrome. It doesn't exist because you're so focused on doing it. And it builds that momentum for you that you don't have space for the other thoughts.
Success leaves clues. There's people that have success every day in your life. Start taking things from them. Look at what they do. And when you talk to high performers, they know exactly what they're going to do every day.
Right.
Like nobody just shows up and goes, all right, what am I going to do on Monday now? If you're a high performer. I don't know any high performer, right? We were talking about it. We were pitching a company and we were talking about it with the leader. And I was like, isn't it amazing that nobody can write down their schedule consistently on a day?
Right.
Like they are paralyzed, where the first thing that we do with people in time management and go, hey, just write down your day. What do you do?
Write down everything you did today. People go, oh.
You have to make those changes, right? You are where you are right now, and that doesn't mean you're less successful necessarily. We might, I think, expect that you're less successful if you don't follow a certain process and stuff like that. But some people get lucky, and I think that's okay to say. But as you start to make those changes, where does it start? Do you start with your morning routine? Do you start with sales, or is it based on each individual and their priorities? Like where do you really start? I think
it starts in the mind.
Yeah,
has to start in the mind.
Well, so but make it more practical. I think it's carpe diem. Own the morning. You have a shitty morning, man, it's gonna mess with your whole day. So for me, that's where I started, waking up early, making my bed, drinking something green, reading.
Well, let's not send people to like the very end, because for somebody who has no idea where to start, I think the most important thing, the one thing they need to do is read something good in the morning.
Which That's is what a daily affirmation is.
Forget anything else. Right, why we start the show with an affirmation, because we're giving people the opportunity to affect the mind. Because if the mind is right, then the body can follow. If the mind is wrong, the body's going to follow, and it's going to follow it in the wrong direction and in the wrong way. So if you have nothing else to do, the simplest small behavior is read one sentence, read one paragraph, read one page of something that's going to help you cultivate a growth mindset, because then everything else can happen afterwards. How did I have success at all those places that were relatively the same success? Because every time we had a meeting, I told them, I don't care what's happening at school. I don't care what's happening with your family. I don't care what's happening anywhere else. You can't do anything about that right now. If you're going to be successful with us right here, right now, you need to be here. And if you're not going to be here, just go. If your girlfriend needs you, if your family needs you, if your school needs you, and that's more important than this right now, go. Don't waste your time being here, because if you're going to be here and have your mind somewhere else, you're fucking all of us.
Well, we obviously love Nick Saban, and he's the best football coach of all time.
I think he's
a Bill Belichick fan. Don't come after me. I'm sorry, but you know, he talked about win. Right. And I remember you telling me this when you worked with him with the Dolphins, was he had win everywhere. And you go, Coach, what does that mean? Like, why do you keep saying winning? Right. And why are you focusing on that? And he goes, no, it's actually has nothing to do with the outcome. He goes, what's important now? Right. In this present moment, now, as you are sitting here, what is important? If I'm not prepared for this show, it's not going to be fucking good. Yeah. If we don't come in prepared, you guys will not enjoy the product.
That's right. If you're not here in the moment, doesn't matter. With your kids, with your business, it doesn't matter. If you choose to do the things that put you in that position, it removes all fear and all anxiety and all doubt and like the imposter syndrome. It doesn't exist because you're so focused on doing it. And it builds that momentum for you that you don't have space for the other thoughts. You're consumed with what you're focused on doing and the momentum that that's building. And that is how unbelievable success happens.
Well, when you ask people in sales, show me your process, and they can't, then they're not really focused on doing that behavior. It's happenstance. Oh, when do you prospect? How do you prospect? Who do you so I hate the word prospect, but if you're going to develop relationships at scale, you better know how you're doing it and when you're doing it. And so all of
daily
this
behavior.
stuff is daily behavior. If you focus on the day and then you duplicate the day, like anybody, I would do a series of 30-day challenges with myself.
Right.
That I would just say, okay, I can do this behavior for 30 days. And then it's either working for me or it's not working for me. But I would take those clues from everybody else. All the time I hear, well, I'm not a morning person. Guess what? You are what you tell yourself
you
are.
created that for yourself.
And I love being a coach, and I all three of us do this really well. We take complex topics and things and make them very simple and actionable.
Right.
And I was doing a little research, and there's a behavioral scientist out of Stanford, BJ Fogg is his name, I believe. And he goes, the only way you can make consistent change or a change that will last was that you can have an epiphany, right? You can change your environment, or you can change the small habits, right? And what are the odds of having the epiphany?
Yeah,
probably
zero.
Probably very low.
Unless you get hit by a car.
But it was funny, we talked about this where, if everything is constantly changing in your environment around you, it's hard for you to focus because you're constantly morphing to the different things. You talked about it, getting hired at 27, special teams coordinator. You were going into your second year and you were like, oh, it's quiet.
Right.
And I love the
after
word
that
quiet.
year, it was like, ooh, things slowed down and got slow. And then, of course, right when that happened, bang, got fired.
Right. So then you look at the other two. You have your environment.
Yep.
Right. Now take a look at everybody you're talking to.
Yeah.
Who are you hanging out with? Where are you going? Right.
What's on the walls?
What's on the walls? What are you reading? Is it motivating you? What are you seeing? What are you digesting consistently to put you in that state? Still hard because a lot of people are in environments they can't change. They have a job, they can't leave the job.
But there is something you can change.
Okay, good. I love that. And then we're gonna get to it. And then you're left with the small habits.
Right.
Right. And then that's just the most logical place to start for me, for everybody, where it's like, hey, you gotta implement one thing. And I love the math where you go, if you add one sales call per day, one more outreach, you're at 250. You've done 250 output, right? And so everybody tries to go, well, I got to do more. I don't know where to start. Start with one. Start with the least common denominator and watch how those stack. And you have all these successful people writing books, people that are studying human behavior, yet we try to make these monumental changes always.
So more is not better. What's better?
Better is better.
Better is better.
Right.
So if you get better at these small little things, I remember making a change because I would see people on the phone, my salespeople on the phone, and their eyes were up here and had their feet on their desk. And they weren't concentrating on the task at hand.
Right.
So I bought mirrors and I made everybody look at themselves in the mirror while they were talking.
Right.
Total change of energy. Because they were focused on what they were doing, and people thought, wow, that's genius. No, it's paying attention to details and making those adjustments, which you talk about in coaching. Those adjustments are the things that make that behavior better.